I don't like my doctor, Alice, and
I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. First of all, I got the anal probe again, and this time he put a little something on it. He goes, I know. And it's like, wait a second.
Did he hear you talking about it?
How raped am I getting during these? It's like I don't. I've gone from never once ever being raped at the doctor's office to now constantly. I'm done with him.
When was even the last time you were there? Like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something?
I am done with him.
Well, and you said they wouldn't even give you your prescription yet?
They won't give me a prescription. I guarantee you he's going to be calling me and saying,
Did they say you were skinnier at least?
No, they didn't say anything good.
That's are skinnier, though.
Right.
You've got to be healthier a little bit. A tiny bit.
Yes. It doesn't matter. I don't get to have the stuff I need, and that's it.
Maybe you don't need it anymore because you're healthy. Maybe
we'll see. We'll see, Alice. I assume that my organs are going to say something very different, and then they're going to try to tractor beam me into the system, in which case I will be saying bye-bye.
You'll be pleased to know I made a doctor's appointment today, too. Actually, 2 doctor's appointments.
That's good. That's great.
Because now I'm an adult. I got a primary care physician again, which I haven't had in at least 4, maybe more years. They were like, can you transfer your records from your previous doctor? And I was like,
you were coming out really low.
I mean, maybe, but it's been a long time, so I don't know how useful that information is going to be to you anymore. We could just start from scratch. And they were like, oh, okay. So that's fine.
It is. The signal is barely there.
I don't think, it's coming in fine for me. And I sound louder to me now, too. I don't know. Do you have like the AUX, the USB in like turned down, like your AUX?
Is this doing this again? Is that what this is?
What did you end up having to do when you did that? I don't know. Anyway,
I'm changing your channel. So, stay tuned. Hold on. Don't stop. Don't say anything. That is ridiculous.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Damn, that is low. What would be causing that?
It's not low for me. So it's got to be something about the USB because it's coming out just fine on the line in and on my headphones. It's coming in totally fine for me. Oh, maybe that's what's going on. Is it a setting on your computer?
Yes. I'm going to have to restart here. Fuck!
Okay, well, I can put my audio again. Okay, do you want me to keep my audio? Do you want me to take my audio and upload it?
Check 1.
Check 1 2.
Yeah, that's it. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, I can give you.
Okay, so I'll just take your audio.
I can upload the audio. It's fine.
I don't like to start the show that way.
I know. Morgan says it's Richard Lloyd's birthday today.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Okay, so I hated my doctor. I think he's a jerk, and I'm sick of being raped by him. So I'm going to move on from that. And the slew of things. I don't want a doctor to put me on the path to. I want just the pills I need and fuck off. That's it. Okay. I do not trust the medical bureaucracy. I have seen both of my parents inside it. I do not wish to be tractor beamed in it. If I have done behaviors or if I have ignored things that I shouldn't have, and I'm on the route to dying, I will die. Do not want to be in the hospital system. So that aside, karate was.
My headphones are buzzy now.
Okay, mine aren't. I don't know.
Okay.
I could just throw the laptop and.
Okay, never mind. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just. If it was just me. If it's just me,
I can't
it's
tell.
fine.
I can't record anymore, so I can't tell.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Please do let us know in the chat if the audio sounds buzzy. Morgan says Richard Lloyd played for Matthew Sweet, so there you go.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And it's his birthday. So
cool.
Happy birthday, Richard.
How cool.
Don't sue us for using your music, please.
Okay, so the other thing is, karate today. My goodness. So all the kids essentially...
Were in costume.
were in costume. And they were playing for candy. We had a lot of sideways happening. My kids just crumbled. This broke their psyche because they were competing for candy. And
how was our kid? That's what I'm concerned
Ours was good because he won candy. So had he not won candy, I think we would have been picking up the pieces.
How was his costume compared to the other kids?
I mean, I guess it's good. I mean, I don't know. He's a Roblox character. It seemed like the
Senpai Chase?
Senpai Chase seems like he knew
What he
what
was.
he was.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was pretty good. Pretty good. But yeah, some other kids. Whew, man. Tell ya,
Yeah,
doesn't-
you introduce candy into the equation and it
Yeah.
does like destroy some children.
And oh yes, so what is this? You're joining QAnon today? Is that what's going on?
I'm going to see 2,000 Mules with a bunch of friends. A Republican group around here rented the Vision Max Theater in Salisbury.
Are you all
And they're
you all wearing your antlers that you wore into the Capitol on January 6th or no?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I have my antlers
2,000
hanging up
mules.
by the door. that
What
I'm
a
gonna
social
wear.
event to go to.
I'm
God.
going to go see 2,000 Mules. I'm excited. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to a Jeff Deal event, which is super exciting. I talked to Jeff Deal this morning, and I have some great audio that I'm going to cut up and put together and release tonight, which I'm super excited about the Massachusetts ballot questions. He was great. He was great. He
That's
was
great to hear.
fantastic. He was going on CUNA right after me.
Good.
And then I was in the car actually when he was on CUNA, so I listened to that. And CUNA asked him why Donald Trump isn't giving him any money or helping him.
And what's the answer?
Jeff said, Donald Trump isn't really giving out money. Like, he endorsed him. He held a tele-rally for him. Corey Lewandowski worked for the campaign. Like, what do you want from Trump? Like,
money.
Who is Trump personally giving money to, though?
Nobody.
If anything, Trump is sucking money out of Republican races because he's taking donations for Trump.
Yes.
Trump isn't giving money to people that I know of. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But is he sharing his campaign war chest with anyone
Famously,
at the moment?
no.
I mean, that's pretty much what my impression is, for sure. So I don't know. But, it was encouraging talking to Jeff. We talked about some of the, not on the air, but like offline too. We talked about some of the poll results and how like they're far apart, but they're moving in the right direction. Like if you look at any given pollster, he's closed the gap. Like he was down like 31 with Suffolk polls in July, and now he's down 23, which is like not where you want to be, obviously, but that's a lot closer than 31. So that's like a positive. He also said that Paleologos was sampling an electorate that looks like the 2018 electorate, which really isn't the same thing. That was a Democrat enthusiasm year. That was an anti-Trump midterm like enthusiasm, Women's March enthusiasm kind of year, so that's not the same as the electorate I think we'll see this time. I also just don't think that any of these pollsters are polling the electorate right. I'm not saying I think Jeff will necessarily win because he's obviously at a huge disadvantage, like money-wise. The media's obviously iced him out completely. The state is a tough haul. But I think this race is going to be so much closer than 23 points. I really do.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
I think it's going to be. I think he'll be in the 40s, certainly.
Yes.
And I think it's going to come as a surprise to people, and people are going to wish that they had put more money and energy into it because
crime in the economy.
I think Don Bolduc's going to win. There was a poll last night.
Totally.
I forget if I said this on our show or just to you as an aside, but there was just a poll yesterday that was showing Don Bolduc, the New Hampshire Senate candidate, only down a point to Maggie Hassan. That's a race that 538 has like an 80% chance of Maggie Hassan winning, right? Like if that race is that close, the Democrats have got serious, serious problems. And I know I'm like a broken record on this, but it remains to be seen. But anyway, Wednesday night, I'm going to be at Toscana's in Peabody at a Jeff Deal event. And I'll be at 2,000 Mules tonight. It's just a packed, fun week. So, yeah, we actually talked a little in the audio I'm going to release about election integrity and the driver's licenses for illegal immigrants in Massachusetts. And
what do you mean? I didn't see illegal immigrants mentioned in the ad, the pro ad for the driver's license freedom for everybody. There was no mention of illegal immigrants.
Oh, but it was super interesting. I can't wait to release this. You're going to love it.
Can you imagine
he's talking
how
about
sleazeball that is? That
how,
the people
like, in
behind a referendum
Massachusetts-
question don't want you to know that illegals are getting these driver's licenses?
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, it's so fascinating because he was talking about how he's been talking to so many cops and there are these like drug routes where they're running fentanyl like up into Maine and that they're like well-known drug routes and they are usually getting rental cars because it's like less trackable to them and stuff. So, and all this, and I don't know, it was a fascinating conversation, and like how if they don't have a license, it allows the cops, like it gives them a tool, because they know these guys are like running, they know that's what it is when they catch these guys on these routes and these rental cars. And so if they don't have a license, that's like a probable cause to search the car. But if they have now a valid Massachusetts license, I don't know, it was so interesting. He's so knowledgeable on these issues and on like the tax issues around question 1 too. It was a really great conversation. So
I also think that LePage in Maine could win. He's within 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think November 8th is going to be an upsetting evening for a lot of Democrats.
I hope so. Oh, it's tonight.
Fetterman Oz debate.
That's right.
We're missing it right now. So last night,
John Fetterwoman.
I can't wait to see if he actually does the debate and how it will turn out.
I don't know what to do about this buzz.
It's that thing.
It is that thing. That thing in particular.
But I can't wait to see like if he shows up, how he does. Will he need the questions to read them on a teleprompter?
They are on a teleprompter. Yeah, he's got one on stage tonight.
It's so ridiculous. What are we doing?
I mean, the Democrats nominated him, and they love him. I mean, I don't like him sharing the same earth with me. I don't like him.
I can't believe the polls show him up still. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. But anyway, so DeSantis was last night. DeSantis was phenomenal, as you would expect. He was great. He was just on point and awesome on every question. The one big like thing they tried, well, there were a couple things they tried to make into a gotcha, which were hilarious to me. One was Charlie Crist at one point asked him, do you commit to be the governor for the full 4 years and not to run for president in 2024? Which obviously Ron DeSantis is going to run for president in 2024. If he's polling where he is right now, he's polling there with everybody knowing that he's going to run for president in 2024. There's no surprise here. Everyone knows that's what he's doing.
It's still a pretty desperate question for Chris to pose.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
because obviously you're better than me at all of everything, but are you going to abandon us and be honest with the people?
So he turned right to him and asked him this question, and Ron DeSantis didn't say anything for a minute, and Charlie Crist goes, see, he won't answer, and all the little like Democrat tweeters were like, Ron DeSantis freezes up when asked if he'll run in 2024. But then, of course, if you watch the rest of the video, he then turns to the moderator and says, is it my time? Am I allowed to answer? And the moderator says, well, we didn't agree to asking each other questions. This is technically his time, but, we can go to you now and you can answer the question because it wasn't in the debate rules. Like, he wasn't allowed to talk during Charlie Crist's time. So that's why he didn't answer the question. So that's, fine. And he had a perfectly fine answer. And he was great. I mean, like I say, all the voters know he's going to run in 2024, right? So if they're voting for him, they already know that. And I think most of them would want him to run in 2024 over what we have right now.
Absolutely.
I would say when you oppose the Parents' Rights in Education bill, which prevents 6, 7, 8-year-olds from having sexuality, gender ideology injected in their curriculum, you are the one that's waging the culture war. I'm simply defending parents and students because it's inappropriate to have that in elementary school. It's inappropriate to tell a 6-year-old that they were born in the wrong body. It's inappropriate to tell an 8-year-old that they may have been born a girl, but maybe they're really a boy. That's wrong. We need to do the basics. We need to teach them to read, write, add, and subtract. And if we do that, we'll continue to lead in 4th grade reading and 4th grade math like we did in today's NAEP results, which is a great testament to having open schools and a lot of hardworking folks in our school system. I also signed, I'm the father of a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old daughter as well as a 4-year-old son, but my daughters are very athletic, and we signed legislation to protect the right of women athletes, that you should not have someone competing on the men's team for 3 years and then switch to the women's team. Charlie Crist opposed that bill. He said he would have vetoed it. I'm going to protect women's sports in the state of Florida.
I almost feel bad for Charlie Crist and how bad he's going to get beaten in November because he's so terrible. The other thing I loved is this lady, what's her stupid name? Olivia something. She's a Olivia Juliana. maybe. She's this like Texas Gen Z abortion activist. Let's see, she, her, director of politics at Gen Z for Change. Loud and proud opinions, my own photos and tweets are not endorsements. She tweeted out last night. She was very upset that, as she pointed out, Ron DeSantis said the Civil War wasn't fought over slavery and that was really wrong. And it was about states' rights to do what and all this stuff. Tens of thousands of likes and retweets. And of course, what he said is this. He said, he said, we shouldn't be distorting American history by saying that the American Revolution was fought to defend slavery, which is not true.
Okay.
So she was upset he said the Civil War wasn't fought over slavery. Let me read you what he said again. To distort American history by saying that the American Revolution was fought to defend slavery, which is not true.
Oh, that's great. And her tweet again was?
Her tweet was that she was pissed that he said that the Civil War wasn't fought to defend slavery.
That's great. That's like my MSP.
Yeah. So, yeah, of course, they're all idiots. They tried to... she said, Ron DeSantis just said the Civil War wasn't fought about slavery. What was it about then, Ron? A state's right to do what? Actually, it's about the 13 colonies' right to not be taxed without representation in Parliament. But what do you expect from these people? They're desperate. And Ron DeSantis is completely likable, completely reasonable. His positions are popular and reasonable, and he's well liked, and he's going to win in a landslide, and then he's going to run for president. And they are freaking terrified of that. Mm-hmm. They are terrified of that. That's the other.
Well, what if Trump runs?
I think they'll both probably run.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're more scared of Ron DeSantis right now at this moment in time, because they beat Trump once now.
Not according to the movie you're going to see tonight.
So, well, they think they beat Trump.
Right. There you go.
So, anyway, it's funny. The other thing I've noticed about it is he referenced in that clip that you just played, like how their great test score results compared to the rest of the country are a testament to having open schools. And I've noticed like a bunch of liberals are now actually in complete denial about what happened during 2020. They're like actually just lying about it. So they're doing this thing now where if you tweet like, we need to keep the schools open, they're like, what do you mean by open schools? The schools were always open.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
What are you talking about?
I've noticed that too.
And there was somebody who's like, it's crazy that people are referencing lockdowns like they were literally locked in their house. That never happened. What are you talking about? I mean, like, they're, like, actually in fantasy land. Meanwhile, the town next to us was, like, taking down basketball hoops, and our health inspector wouldn't let our kids use the playground.
Yes,
like,
and they filled in skate parks with cement. Well, I think...
You weren't locked down. Shut up. Stop.
I think for a lot of people...
It's not true.
I think for a lot of people on the left, they wanted to be in captivity. So... They didn't feel they were locked down.
Not enough, apparently.
No, they felt that they were like
I was too free.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, lock me down, make sure.
Lock me down harder, Daddy.
Jesus, Alice. Alice.
That's how liberals feel about the government.
Jesus. So
anyway, yeah, I think DeSantis is going to clean up with them. And we never got to my Financial Times article about Ron DeSantis, too, which is hilarious because they did a whole... I mean, there's been a number of these, like, hit pieces on Ron DeSantis where they, like, sort of frame it as a profile of him, but then they interview, like, somebody who knew 3 people who knew him in college, and one of them thinks he was a jerk or something.
Oh, yes, yes, like, that's right. Oh, yes, he said the word thigh instead of thigh.
Okay, yes. So in this particular Financial Times one, they actually said that. They interviewed somebody. This is like third hand, too, by the way. It's not like somebody who was actually hanging out with him. But they do the normal stuff, like he's known to wear earbuds to deflect social interactions. Besides his wife, he has few friends, let alone confidants.
Is this supposed to be a negative hit against him?
So he's really good at othering people, said a veteran Florida Republican activist.
You know anybody in your life else who wears headphones to try to ignore the...
Yeah, actually, and you... Unlike Ron DeSantis, who has his wife as a confidant, you don't even talk to me, so you have zero confidants.
No, I have confidants.
Oh, is that how you say that?
Yes, Alice.
I thought it was because you confide in people.
Maybe in the cyborg factory where they created you, they haven't given you the correct inflection and enunciation.
I'm
but
sorry, geez.
At some point,
I apologize to everybody.
You are my confidant.
At Yale, he also found refuge in the Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity, an athlete-heavy club that featured barrels of beer and prominent former...
Imagine that. Imagine that.
He drank beer in college, Tom.
That is groundbreaking. That is not normal. Imagine the athlete. Wait, he was there on a baseball scholarship.
At a frat.
And he hung out in the frat for jocks where they drank beer.
Yes, you have that correct.
And he goes around and listens to music with his iPods.
With his earbuds in. He doesn't want to talk to people. Featured barrels of beer and prominent former members, including the Bushes.
Wait a second. You mean George Herbert Walker
Some
Bush?
Bushes, apparently. I don't know.
George Herbert Walker Bush was there in like 1951.
It does it does say prominent former members. And it doesn't say at the same school. They were just in the same fraternity.
Did they mention prominent former member John Kerry?
Is he in the same frat?
Supposedly he and Bush were both in Skull and Bones.
Is that? I don't even know anything about
society.
Frats. Including the Bushes and Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. In his recent pandemic memoir, What Just Happened, Notes from a Long Year, author and critic Charles Finch recalled two things about his former classmate, known then as D.
Imagine that. I wonder what for death, probably, because they knew that he'd be killing everybody during COVID.
He did an uncanny impression of baseball star Jose Canseco.
Son of a...
Very disturbing behavior. Very disturbing.
Of course, it's not what they need because Canseco does not have like an ethnic way of speaking. They need it to be.
And according to a friend, so this is author and critic Charles Finch recalls that according to a friend,
Morgan mentioned says Bohemian Grove. I know people have gone to that. Have you ever? You've not been invited, right?
No, what is that?
It's like a Republican retreat where they put on plays and get drunk and do all sorts of stuff.
Wow. Very fancy. I'm not fancy. I just get invited to 2,000 Mules. So the author and critic Charles Finch recalled that, according to a friend, Ron DeSantis would tell dates that he liked Thai food but pronounced it Thai food. And if they corrected him, Finch wrote, he would find an excuse to leave. He didn't want a girlfriend who corrected him.
That's great.
So this is Charles Finch writing what a friend told him Ron DeSantis would say to dates and speculating about Ron DeSantis' motivation.
I have one hard and fast rule here, sweetie. I call it Thai food. And if you take issue with that, I'll be leaving. Back to the barrels of beer frat with me.
Another former classmate recalled it was a different brilliant Yale athlete, football player Eric Johnson, who friends expected would go on to great things. After playing professionally, Johnson married pop star Jessica Simpson. This person said, struck them as just another white jock at Yale.
I wonder if Johnson is DeSantis' age, and Jessica Simpson, too. Maybe she is. He's in his mid-40s.
Yeah. So, anyway, then he went to Harvard Law School, was a military legal officer, all this stuff. I mean, what could possibly, they have nothing on the guy because the hit pieces on him are pathetic. I don't even know, where's the part about his wife and how they met? Because that was incredible too. This is in the Financial Times, by the way. So this is not In Touch Weekly or something that's writing this junk. But, Yeah, when the DeSantis moved to Tallahassee, Casey's power was immediately evident. The governor's wife of 12 years claimed what had been the chief of staff's office, confirming her role as her husband's closest advisor. She has her own staff. I believe when Hillary Clinton was all into being a part of the Clinton administration, we were told it was like 2 for the price of 1 and a great thing and a huge asset, right? Not like in this sinister tone of what it is.
Also earbuds.
She has her own staff. As she tells it, she and Ron met cute at a golf driving range. See, she says that she was looking at a bucket of balls. He thought she was looking at him. It is possible both things are true.
Ooh. What does that even mean? I mean,
I think it's trying to say that
he's inanimate and stupid.
He's a bucket of balls.
Okay. Both things are true. Like, who said... Like, that's the kind of thing really where an editor would say, are you trying to be deep? Just cut that crap out. Just get to it. Both things are true. Shut the freak up.
So, anyway, that's what I have on that. Karine Jean-Pierre was really dumb today.
Okay. Let me find it. That's good because I haven't heard this. I've been on the run since... I've been out all day.
Yeah, so, if you are going to play, is that the...
I'm there. You want me to start at the top?
Do you have the RNC research one? We'll just start with that because that one's funny. I think that's the last one I send you where she gets asked what will happen to the economy if, like, the Republicans take office.
Huh. Oh, this is their new thing that they're saying.
And, it is reckless. It is playing a reckless game with our economy.
Holy Lord.
They need to get her out of there, historic first or not. How long do they need to keep her before they can safely be like, good job, you are the historic first, well done.
Well, she's got to go on, she's got to get a gig. So MSNBC has to hire her away.
White House observing instances of voter suppression in Georgia and other states that adopted some of these laws over the last 2 years?
Look, we have seen ourselves, I just laid out, we've seen ourselves from what legislation, state legislations that we have seen across the country that is suppressing the right to vote. Look, we believe that people should have the fundamental access to voting. As you know, very early in this administration, the president signed an executive order on what he can do from the federal level to make voting easier for the American people. He did that on the anniversary of Selma, the march that we know
what a
icon
mess.
John Lewis helped to lead.
What a mess.
And he wanted to make sure that he took action and not just words. So, as you know, the president is very attuned to this.
That's
but
the
again,
problem.
we don't want to get into specifics of what is currently happening
But
in one
he did
race.
it on the
White House
anniversary
observing
of Selma.
instances of voter suppression
He did it on
in
the
Georgia and other
anniversary of
states that
Selma,
adopted.
so it's like
I'm trying
very
to stop
important.
this.
Okay.
Well, doesn't that just tell you? Tell you the priorities of this administration? They've got all they have.
That's why they pulled out of Afghanistan too, so that you
Right,
could make
on
a big
9/11.
speech on 9/11.
All they have is it's leading by
symbolic.
symbolism. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, no, but it gets better. Play the one right above that too.
But again, this is something that we have seen throughout this past couple of years, and how voting, the access to voting, is being attacked.
But doesn't that record turnout show that Georgia voters are finding ways to vote even amid
I'm not going to get into specifics of what Georgia voters are doing. What I am saying is that, generally speaking, again, more broadly speaking, of course, high turnout and voter suppression can take place at the same time.
They can. The high turnout and the voter suppression can both be happening at once. It can all be true.
So no matter what, it's already stolen?
There was already voter suppression. They can see there was voter suppression because the legislations that it's suppressing the vote. They know that it's true. And Joe Biden is helping. And we were supposed to pass the John Lewis Act to stop everybody's vote from being suppressed, because even though they're all voting, the high turnout is just happening at the same time as all the voter suppression. She can't be enjoying this, can she? Like, does she just wake up every day and be like, I have to go out there again and stumble around? Or does she, like, feel great about how she does? Do you think?
I don't think she does. Although, I don't think anybody criticizes her.
I mean, yeah, I guess, maybe. So, but she's... Did
we talk
pretty
about the
awful.
burger last night? Kuchenberger?
No, I think that happened after. So Kuchenberger, the superintendent of the Melrose Public Schools, where we've talked about her before, she's the one who canceled Halloween. She was on Turtle Boy.
She de-emphasized Alice.
She lost $2.5 million. So there was that. Like those school departments just accidentally spent like $2 million more than the budget. And we're like, we're not sure what happened, actually. We didn't notice until we finished out the year and couldn't close our books. So she is not going to be seeking a contract renewal this year. So
I believe I was told to put my phone on vibrate last week. When
I know, well, I muted it.
Because you got your QAnon people saying, when are you
get
here, dude?
Yeah, my friends are letting me know that I need to get there, so...
okay. Well,
no, they're not really. They're not really. That was
a
spam call, so... the other thing that's interesting is, did you see what happened with the Congressional Progressive Caucus and their Ukraine statement and that whole thing that started
I know that there was a big letter that was signed actually by some from righties too, right? It was bipartisan, wasn't it? Or was it not? It was just progressives?
This was the Progressive Caucus.
Right, okay. And they sent Biden this letter, and...
and it was basically saying, like, Ukraine and Russia should make peace.
Yeah, just shout at AOC once at her own event, and
this was, like, Pramila Jayapal and all that. I'm not sure if AOC signed it. Maybe she did. Probably. I don't know. So they thought that they should, like, seek a peace agreement. That was, like, the letter. But then everybody was mad because Ukraine is absolutely the good, scrappy, heroic... like Luke Skywalker, and he shouldn't have to negotiate with Darth Vader, and, they should defeat Russia once and for all and remove Putin from power. I don't know what fantasy land that we're in where this is problematic to say that you want them to make peace, but they have withdrawn their Ukraine letter from yesterday. Because of the backlash. Representative Pramila Jayapal, chair of the CPC, issued the following statement on a letter sent regarding Ukraine. The Congressional Progressive Caucus hereby withdraws its recent letter to the White House regarding Ukraine. The letter was drafted several months ago, but unfortunately was released by staff without vetting. As chair of the caucus, I accept responsibility for this. Except I just threw the staff, the underpaid staffers under the bus who don't get paid to be out here and be famous, whatever. It was released by staff without vetting. As chair of the caucus, I accept responsibility for this. Because of the timing, our message is being conflated by some as being equivalent to the recent statement by Leader McCarthy threatening an end to aid to Ukraine if Republicans take over. The proximity of these statements created the unfortunate appearance that Democrats who have strongly and unanimously supported and voted for every package of military, strategic, and economic assistance to Ukrainian people are somehow aligned with Republicans who seek to pull the plug on American support for President Zelensky and the Ukrainian forces. Nothing could be further from the truth. We have gotten back in line, basically. Every war ends with diplomacy, and this one will too, after Ukrainian victory. The letter sent yesterday, although restating that basic principle, has been conflated with GOP opposition to support for the Ukrainians' just defense of their national sovereignty. As such, it is a distraction at this time, and we withdraw the letter. So, there you go. They made a mistake. They took it back. And they blamed the staff. The staff released it without asking us. This was not our fault. We did not agree to this. We do fully support Ukraine. Only after Ukraine has conquered all of Europe will we allow Congress to stop sending them missiles. I mean, it's just pathetic. It's just pick a position and stand with it. They're just such babies. And the other thing that I had that I wanted to get to is that Elon Musk is saying the Twitter deal could close soon as Friday.
Good news. Hold on.
What?
Good equity news.
Good equity news?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Washington Post. White people are now more likely to die of COVID than black people.
Thank goodness.
Oh,
I was waiting.
Excellent.
I was having to purge a lot of guilt with my therapist that I was not as likely to die of COVID as black people were.
Thank goodness. It is about time.
Well, now, but the work is not over. The work is not over because now we need skinny people to die at the same rates as fat people.
I certainly agree with that.
So get on it, skinny people. Start dying off.
And skinny people need to die from diabetes
and
as
heart
much.
disease and
Yes.
every other thing.
All
Okay.
the other things, because there's nothing wrong with being fat whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll get to work. I'll get to work. Just leave some more wires around the studio, and I'll try and die at an appropriate rate. But yeah, also good news. Elon Musk is saying that he could close the Twitter deal as soon as Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exciting. I've been cautiously optimistic. I haven't even fully necessarily believed that it was actually going to go through, but it's looking like it's really going to happen this time, which is so exciting. Of course, he said he's going to lay off 75% of the workforce.
Yes.
And they're all wigging out that will make content moderation really difficult.
That's great.
So
that is so great.
They also, the Twitter employees, according to Time, have an open letter to Elon Musk, to staff, Elon Musk, and board of directors. We, the undersigned Twitter workers, believe the public conversation is in jeopardy. Elon Musk's plan to lay off 75% of Twitter workers will hurt Twitter's ability to serve the public conversation.
They can go to Parler. EA owns Parler now.
A threat of this magnitude is reckless, undermines our users and our customers' trust in our platform, and is a transparent act of worker intimidation. Twitter has significant effects on societies and communities across the globe. As we speak, Twitter is helping to uplift independent journalism in Ukraine and Iran, as well as powering social movements around the world.
Holy God.
A threat to workers at Twitter is a threat to Twitter's future. These threats have an impact. It's not a threat. It's not a threat. He's just going to fire some people.
That's right.
He's not threatening you. If he owns a company, he's allowed to fire people. That's allowed. These threats have an impact on us as workers and demonstrate a fundamental disconnect with the realities of operating Twitter. They threaten
The best thing, too, is that they're saying, it's okay, we can't afford to have you anymore. You're deadwood and you suck at this, so you have to go now because we're running a business. We need to run it tight. And their retort is, but we're uplifting people. It's okay, now you really need to go, okay?
They lay it on a little more.
Every one of you sounds like Cody.
There's more reasons they can't be laid off, too. A threat to workers at Twitter is a threat to Twitter's future. These threats... Okay, wait, I read that already. They threaten our livelihoods, access to essential health care, and the ability for visa holders to stay in the country they work in. We cannot do our work in an environment of constant harassment and threats. Without our work, there is no Twitter.
Fantastic.
We, the workers at Twitter, will not be intimidated. We recommit to supporting the communities, organizations, and businesses who rely on Twitter. Go build your own Twitter then.
Well, they can recommit. It's just the key cards aren't going to work.
We will not stop serving the public conversation.
And that's fine, too. They just can't do it inside the Twitter building anymore.
We, the workers at Twitter, we call on Twitter management and Elon Musk to cease these negligent layoff threats. As workers, we deserve... I think he's going to cease them once...
Well, that letter should do it. That definitely...
We call on Twitter management and Elon Musk to cease these negligent layoff threats. As workers, we deserve concrete commitments so we can continue to preserve the integrity of our platform. We demand of current and future leadership respect. We demand leadership to respect the platform and the workers who maintain it by committing to preserving the current headcount. Safety. We demand that leadership does not discriminate against workers on the basis of their race, gender, disability, sexual orientation, or political beliefs. We also demand safety for workers on visas who will be forced to leave the country they work in if they are laid off. Protection. We demand Elon Musk explicitly commit to preserve our benefits, those both listed in the merger agreement and not, e.g. remote work. We demand leadership to establish and ensure fair severance policies for all workers before and after any change in ownership. And dignity. We demand transparent, prompt, and thoughtful communication around our working conditions. We demand to be treated with dignity and not to be treated as mere pawns in a game played by billionaires. So, yeah. I'm excited about the Twitter thing. Again, I've thrown caution to the winds. I'm no longer just cautiously optimistic. I'm actually excited. I hope the deal really closes Friday. I literally can't wait for that. So, Morgan says he wouldn't trust Elon because he has a bunch of kids with a bunch of women. And he wants to put microchips in your brain. That's true. He is like a transhumanist, like futurist kind of guy, which, yeah, I'm not a fan of. he's like read too many sci-fi novels, which is fine. On the children point though, he's like super pro-natalist, which is, I mean, like I don't like that they're with different women, but he's like very pro having lots of children, and like very pro having lots of children is good for the planet and humanity. So I like that about him. I'm not 100% aligned with Elon Musk, certainly on many things. And I don't love that we fund so much of his stuff with like green energy program money from the taxpayers. That's not my favorite. But mostly I'm just enjoying this whole thing where he's buying Twitter and he's going to fire them all. So
I'm right there. Yeah, I'm all for it. All over it. What else is going on? Anything?
That's all I had for today, really. Anything else going on with you?
No. No. I mean, I lived today off of my pal.
Cody.
Well, you know what?
Cody. Poor Cody. What if Cody like kills himself or something?
Well,
you've been trashing him.
Yeah,
all day on the radio and on our podcast.
Well, then I don't know who would run the College for Goodness Debt League. I don't know. By the way, did you see that he went to Johns Hopkins? Mm-hmm. And he's got a famous.
Yeah, he's got a big resume, and he did like data and policy. He could get a real job.
Imagine that Cody goes right from begging for college relief, having just been married, begging for a house. No, my point I made today was this, and it's a good epiphany, is that if he wants us to pay for his wedding and his new house, so I'm doing the job of Cody now, then I should also that's fine, do that. I should also be able to sleep with his wife. And since I'm Cody's dad now, I should be able to have sex with his mother too, because I'm feeling the role of the dad. Why shouldn't I? I should be able to go and eat cold chicken from his fridge, drink the dad's beer, and lay down with Mrs.
Well,
Cody.
you can't drink beer because you don't know weekend money.
Right, but
we'll
I should be. Well, I mean, so that's where I am on that. We got a couple chat messages if you want to hit them.
Yeah, we can do the chat quickly. Leave more chat messages.
Somebody's got the antler meeting tonight. I'm sorry about that, everybody.
Now that the Student Debt Crisis Center has closed because I got my student debt canceled, my wife and I have now had a baby, which is very stressful.
Cody.
So I've opened up the Baby Crisis Debt Center because we're just not sleeping enough. And no one told us it was going to be this bad. And, well...
Our house is the Baby Crisis Center.
Wait for another bill to be passed that helps us out with maybe someone else taking the baby so that we can just enjoy our lives while the baby gets older. And maybe we'll meet them when they're about 10 years old.
Why not, Cody? Sounds fine to me.
Let's get to brass tacks here. First off, I'm glad that Tom and Alice are doing better than they were a few days ago.
Of course.
We are too.
I did not need to hear about Tom making out with Alice.
But, we had a lot of that reaction.
Get over that.
Yeah,
don't let that seared in your mind.
I know.
That's the best advice I can get. Just don't. It'll damage your corneas and whatnot. But also, happy birthday to IU's greatest basketball coach, Bobby Knight.
Love Bobby Knight.
And the thing that the woman said that she wouldn't do, but if he went with the house, she would do.
Yeah,
was a role play where she would dress up like Red Riding Hood and he would dress up like the Big Bad Wolf.
Is that true?
Okay.
Sounds like he might be a furry, Justin, and I don't approve of that.
That's probably a thing. I have no problem with that.
Well, thank you for listening. And I'm going to go see my movie, and tomorrow I'm going to go see Jeff Deal. And
post-insurrection? You expect that you'll be arrested tonight?
No, I'm not going to be arrested. There was a thing in Newburyport last week that had protesters at it that was about like parents' rights and education, but I didn't go to that. I didn't have time. But anyway, you can join us on the Patreon chats, patreon.com/burnbarrel if you want to do that. You can always find us for free at burnbarrelpodcast.com.
C'est la vie.